one and all present here today. Symbiosis Law School Pune welcomes everyone to its public lecture on the Maharashtra Government Servants Regulation of Transfers and Prevention of Delay in Discharge of Official Duties Act, which is more commonly known as the Transfer and Delays Act of 2006. We are pleased to have amongst us today our honorable guest speakers, Mr. Shri B.G, former Chief Information Commissioner, Government of India, and an RTI activist, Mr. S.C. Nagpal, Chairman of Public Concern for Governance Trust, Pune Chapter, Mr. Satish Khot, Vice Chairman of PCGT Pune, and Mr. D.V.R. Rao, Member PCGT Pune. We extend our warm welcome to our Director, Dr. Shashikala Gurgur, Fulbright Scholar, Dean, Faculty of Law, Symbiosis International University, and Dr. Bindu Ronald, Deputy Director, Symbiosis Law School Pune. We also welcome the dignitaries present off the dais. Through this workshop, we aim at throwing light on the Act 21 of 2006 and its positive changes in getting us a better bureaucracy and administrative system. We hope that this workshop would bring an enriching experience full of valuable knowledge for everyone present here today. I would now like to request our Director, Dr. Shashikala Gurgur, to deliver the welcome address. Thank you.
Respected guest, Mr. Shri B.G, our collaborators and friends, the honorable members of Public Concern for Government Trust Organization, especially the Vice Chairman, Mr. Satish Khot, the active members such as Mr. Rao and all other informed and senior citizens of Pune who are here, and my dear students as well as my faculty members, my Deputy Director who is sharing the dais with us, Dr. Bindu Ronald. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you to this occasion. At the outset, I should make certain things clear. First of all, there has been a slight delay in commencing the program. I apologize on behalf of the organizers, mainly thanks to the traffic jam which has occurred because of the sudden weather change. So the President or Chairman of PCGT, Mr. Nagpal, will join us soon. Secondly, why do we have at the commencement portion of the year this kind of a public lecture cum workshop, or why do we call it workshop? Certain reasons. One is that information is power, it is said, and world is moving towards the information society. We are already in an information society. You do not have the information, you are disempowered. You have the information, you are empowered. Now, this is a general understanding that we are going to in the new millennium. But right to information, using this power, has changed lives, especially in democratic governance. A governance which is supposed to be the deliverance of service to the citizens undergoes a kind of paralysis if citizens do not know what their rights are, what their entitlements are, or what their privileges are. Now, we have come out of the colonial hold, but in many ways our minds are not very much decolonized, nor our systems. So it is the right to information movement, RTI movement, which changed the face of our country, especially the country which was getting into a large young demography. Now, in preparation for a better India, for our youth, RTI movement led India from being a passive society to a very active society. We were a very active society during independence movement. But as soon as we became independent, we became a little complacent, trusting our authorities, believing in our authorities, and believing in their responsibility. But what we saw was, year after year, government after government, the rights of the people getting shadowed by the corrupt system. So right to information in a way gave that negotiating power, it gave that bargaining chip in the hands of the citizens. So being one of those who has been at the spearhead of this whole movement, Mr. Gandhi, there is no one else other than Mr. Gandhi who could be very apt to unveil before you the entire aspect of right to information. I wouldn't like to preempt his privilege or his authentic voice in this movement. I've been personally a beneficiary of this, I've been a facilitator of this in many ways in my erstwhile role sometimes as an activist, but you know, once you are put in the responsible position, you become numb as well in some ways. So this is how we rejuvenate our sense of informed citizenry when we invite such people to speak to us and to educate you on this aspect. Now the second point is why in Symbiosis such activities happen. public intellectualism has been in the DNA of Symbiosis. Dr. Mazumdar himself has been a very authentic voice in terms of, mainstreaming the international students who were sidelined in Pune when he took over in Pune as a teacher and as the rector of the hostel. The history of Symbiosis is known to all of you. So that public intellectualism blossomed into establishing this law school way back in 1977 and engaging with people like Mr. Jake Malani, who has been continually engaged in public life. Aside from Mr. Jake Malani, there have been other counterparts of Dr. Mazumdar who have contributed and actively participated in this whole initiative of his in putting education on the path of excellence and as a means to promoting international understanding. One of them was the founder of Public Concern for Governance Trust, late Mr. B.G. Deshmukh, who retired as the Cabinet Secretary. Mr. Deshmukh was an epitome of that public intellectualism, and they not only believed in thinking for others, but also in actualizing their thought process. So PCGT has been our knowledge partner. It has been the activist face of Pune city, which has involved our students in a lot of collaborative activities, engaging them with directly those activities which impact on governance. So we have had one form in the form of such workshops where leaders in this process are brought to the students and their thoughts are shared. Every year we host the public lecture in collaboration with Public Concern for Governance Trust. They have been our partners in many activities, and also they have been very happy guests and happy counterparts in many of our other initiatives as well. So we should thank PCGT for giving us this opportunity at the outset, and I welcome all the friends of PCGT and all other collaborators of PCGT to this occasion. The third issue is the very identity of this law school. Time and again, our law school has been ranked as one of the top 5 in the country continuously ever since the ranking process began. This law school has influenced not only the landscape of legal education, but also law reforms, and has close collaboration with the judiciary. The law school of ours is one of the rarest law schools in the world and in the country to have maximum number of international collaborations. And one of the evidences is the judge who walked in just now, Judge Christy Harrington from South Carolina, who is on Fulbright Fellowship with us for the next 2 weeks. Now this shows how Symbiosis, the law school, and the citizens of Pune have collaborated in a forum which is visible internationally to look at this act, to revisit this legislation in the line of its impact on state and national level other legislations which contribute to the concept of empowerment through information. I welcome all of you, a very hearty welcome to you also, Judge Christie, and I hope that today we will have a lecture and a workshop which is going to enlighten us in the way in which we could become active citizens and participate and contribute to our vibrant democracy. Because you youngsters are the future, and you are going to make this democracy really throb for those amongst us, more than 50% of the people who still live below the poverty line. Welcome one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. I would now like to request to Mr. D.V.R. Rao, member PCGT Pune chapter, to come up and give an introduction about PCGT and the topic for today. Thank you.
Mr. Gandhi, very good morning to you. We've been hearing of it from our respected and very sincere Prime Minister that what we need is less government and more governance. Unfortunately, in any government, in any country, it's usually more government and less governance. That brings us to the reality, and that's one reason why PCGT, Public Concern for Governance Trust, has come. Because in spite of best intentions, governance always takes a backseat when it comes to expanding the government. PCGT was founded in April 2002 in Mumbai by such stalwarts as the late Mr. B.G. Deshmukh, about whom your director has already spoken, who was the Union Cabinet Secretary in Delhi, Padma Bhushan Julio Rivero, who keeps writing in the Indian Express and we all know about him, as one of the finest police officers in the country. It might get too close. And a large number of very prominent Mumbaikars have started this, including a pediatrician, Dr. R.K. Anand. Why I bring out this name R.K. Anand is, it is not just people who are concerned with government and governance, but even ordinary general citizens like doctors are interested in governance. The mission of PCGT is to make India a value-based, equitable, corruption-free, just and compassionate society. Big mouthful. The Pune chapter was launched 4 years later on the 13th of August in 2006 with the mission to identify and address issues of public concern with a view to improving governance in the Pune metropolitan region. The objectives are: 1. Creating awareness of rights and duties of citizens. Generally, misgovernance or lack of governance occurs because people do not know their rights and they do not protest and they do not demand their rights. So it's necessary to educate the people about their rights. Otherwise, bad governance will continue. 2. Mobilizing public opinion on issues that affect citizens. 3. Addressing public grievances. 4. Addressing issues of corruption or malpractices in administration. And finally, 5. Sensitizing and educating government employees. My colleagues and I in PCGT, first thing we do is read 2 or 3 papers in the morning and see where an instance of misgovernance has taken place. Once we identify it, we get after that to see what correction can be made. PCGT takes up causes that affect large sections of our society, not individual cases, and promotes integrity and excellence among upright officers and individuals. It's not that every officer is a bad one. There are some very good people who get constrained to do less than good governance because of various reasons. They need to be appreciated. It was founded and headed by Mr. B.G. Deshmukh until its demise in August 2011. That's for a good 5 years. Currently, Mr. Subhash Chandra Agarwal, a former income tax commissioner and a dynamic personality, in charge. Unfortunately, he is stuck in traffic, which is a very common excuse we all do in Pune, but it's reality. He will join us very soon. There are several subcommittees in this organization to take on specific problems. We conduct seminars, symposia, training workshops, and public meetings, apart from meeting government officials and putting across suggestions. We place particular emphasis on training people in using RTI, and we have an RTI set. I'll come back to it. We help individuals in filing their complaints on RTI and assist them in obtaining responses to their RTI application. We also study important problems and try to find solutions for that. One important annual feature of the B.G. Deshmukh Memorial is we organize every year, where we invite people of the stature of state governor, and so on, to deliver stimulative lectures on our political topics. We cooperate with select NGOs also. We don't as an individual select ones. And Education Institute, you know that we have the Symbiosis now, to conduct studies. The latest was a statewide study on performance. That is from Canada. This is the latest one. Today's activity is another important aspect of our role, that is, informing the public about their rights, what they can expect as public officials as a basic right. Unless you know what your rights are, you will never get them. Now, a word about what we're going to talk about, the workshop that is going to be conducted this morning. We all know about RTI, just because it has been given massive publicity. Everybody knows that by asking questions at the RTI, we can get replies. If you do not get replies, the office can be punished. This is known to everybody, and over the last 8-9 years, people have been frequently and adequately using RTI to get information about their cases. But the limitation of RTI is this. We can ask in the RTI, I have submitted an application, what has been done on that, what is progress on that. Beyond that, they tell you has been done or not done. Sometimes they give evasive replies. But beyond that, you can't do much. the person who is sitting on your property cannot be penalized. He cannot be held to responsibility. Right? Just knowing that your project or your subject or your request has been stuck in a government office at stage 1, 2, 3 is not effective. We need to push it. Unfortunately, I think it's not specific to government officials. All of us try to save our own backsides. So, there is one provision, Act 21 of 2006, which gives a large number of powers to the public, but which has not been publicized because it doesn't suit the people who are sitting on problems. We are going to talk about it. This provision, Section 10 of Act 21 of Maharashtra Government of 2006, enables citizens to make sure that the person who is expected to do the work you are concerned with does it. Otherwise, he gets into serious trouble. Since Mr. Gandhi is going to conduct a workshop on it, I'm not going to talk about it at all, except to tell you there is one more tool apart from the RTI which you can use and you must use. Thank you.
I would now request Mr. Satish Kode, Vice Chairman, PCGD Pune Chapter, to give an introduction of Mr. Shailesh Gandhi, former Chief Information Commissioner.
Good morning, everyone. Before I start, let me apologize for starting late. It's not Shailesh today, but us today. We were not able to gather here, not we have been asking questions. Once again, sorry, very sorry for that. It's my proud privilege to introduce to you a person like Shailesh. I've known Shailesh for over 5 decades, and he has done something very, very, his career graph, when you look at it, is something very wonderful. Shailesh is a first generation entrepreneur. He set up a plastic molding factory which manufactured articles of really excellent standard. And finally, at the age, certain age, I won't tell you how old he is, certain age he decided, I'll give it up and get into activism, and that's what he did. Of course, he's a distinguished alumnus from IIT Bombay. He was part of the national RTI movement, which involved the drafting of the RTI Act. So, when you say RTI, you know one of the fathers is the person who set the beginning, the person who has really opened the world for you, which is under fire holding by people, which you thought that you have information and now you get the information there. You won't believe it, number of active. He's been an evangelist in RTI. The number of workshops that he has taken, maybe thousands, I wouldn't even know how to call it. And believe it or not, people have heard him and become RTI activists after that. Anup has come down here because he heard it before and said, yes, Anai chahiye. Then, again, something very unusual. He's the only RTI activist who was made the Central Information Commissioner. And Shailesh was the Information Commissioner for 2.5 years, and even there, he has done something very, very good. You know, the decisions that he has taken are considered to be landmark decisions around, and that has really worked very well for the RTI movement. I went to his office, and can you believe that CIC is equivalent to a Supreme Court judge? Working there was paperless. He would listen to the parties and then turn around and dictate to his stenographer. He would be typing away on the computer, and he could see in his external, change this word here, put this there. And before the case was over, the judgment had already been given. I think that is the reason how many Shailesh? You talked about 20,000 cases in 3 years and 9 months. Give him a hand. I don't think that's going to be beaten anytime soon. Now he's retired. He should be at his home, taking his grandchildren. No way. He's still very, very much active. And he's trying to get you all involved more into something new. Mr. Rao has already explained that we are going to do something. This is a step forward, and that's what he's going to get you involved. He's also looking into the judicial systems, whether how we can improve to have a quicker reliance, quicker response, how we can see that the governance improves. These are areas which are close to all of our. Shailesh has been given the Nani Bhankewala Civil Liberties Award as well as the MR Pai Award. A little bit of our early get to knowledge of each other way back, 5 decades back. And you had a freshers debate. The freshman debate was very well called. Now the hall was much bigger than this. And you guys are excellent students. There you were, as soon as a freshman came and called up to the mic, used to be booing and yelling and arrows thrown at him. Aeronautical engineering started because the quality of the arrows was so very good that it came and hit you directly. I thought I was a good debater, but I couldn't take it. My speech went there and there. But Shailesh was the only person who was able to stand up and talk clearly, and that really shows what he is. What is when he says sticks and stones will break my bones. Arrows also will hurt at me, but I will fight on, and that's what Shailesh is. He perseveres and perseveres and perseveres. I give you Shailesh. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. And to the young people, we have some very renowned people down here. People who have done a lot of work in governance as well as in leading the city. Satyabir Gaur, he was Additional Chief Secretary Government of Maharashtra, IAS. Aruna Bagchi, Pune IAS. Suren Agarwal, who's been one of the founders of the Mohalla Committee movement. Sheila Krishnan is how your city has become clean. She is the one who sponsored all this work of segregation of garbage, and no one introduced Mr. Rao when he came. Mr. Rao has been the past president of the National Society of Clean City, and he's been done wonders. Oh, my wife is also a professor, retired professor of English literature. She is also here. Okay, then thank you all. And can I ask Dr. Gurpur to felicitate Shailesh? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Dr. Shashikala Gurpur, Director, Symbiosis Law School, Pune, to felicitate Mr. Shailesh Gandhi.
I was talking and my peripheral vision seems to be missing. Mr. Nakta, Chairman of PCGT, has just come. He's a retired Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. He's very, very active in governance.
Thanks, sir. We would also like to welcome at this moment Mr. S.C. Nagpal, Chairman, PCGT Pune Chapter. Mr. Shailesh Gandhi is a first-generation entrepreneur and a distinguished alumnus awardee of IIT Bombay. He sold his company to become an RTI activist. Sir was part of the national RTI movement, which was involved in drafting the National Act. He was convener of the National Campaign for People's Right to Information. He used RTI and also trained many citizens and government officials in over 1,000 workshops to use it. The only RTI activist to have been chosen as a Central Information Commissioner, he disposed a record of over 20,000 cases in 3 years and 9 months and ensured that most cases were decided in less than 90 days. He gave many landmark decisions on RTI, apart from organizing the first digital paperless office in the Commission. He is now at his home in Mumbai to further and deepen RTI to empower citizens to take effective participatory charge of their democracy. He is passionately pursuing the cause of evolving ways for a time-bound justice delivery system and improving governance systems. Amongst many awards he has been awarded, the Nani Palkiwala Civil Liberties Award and the MRY Award. It is indeed an honor to have you amongst us today, sir. I would now request sir to kindly address the gathering.
You must identify problems and then you can find solutions. So if you don't like our own rules, then we get the British back. The Americans may be happy to come. Then we have a problem. I don't like my own rule. I don't want anybody from any other country to come and rule. How do we run this nation? Is a question that we must consider. I would like to submit to you that in my opinion, on 15th August 1947, Swaraj never came. It's an illusion and a delusion. What happened on 15th August 1947 was a transfer of Raj from the whites to the browns. The Raj remained. The Raj did not go. We didn't realize it. It was not by design. But the truth is, the Raj continued. Some people say, Mr. Gandhi, how is this possible? We are the world's largest democracy. Why do we call ourselves a democracy? Is it government of the people, for the people, by the people? Is it? Then you should be happy with your rule if you are ruling yourself. Actually, we call ourselves the world's largest democracy primarily because we have elections and the right to vote. Elections, fair and free elections, and a constitution are necessary conditions for a democracy, but they by themselves do not form the complete required conditions. The heart and essence of democracy, my friends, is the concept that each individual citizen is a sovereign in her own right, and she gives a part of the sovereignty to the state in return for which she gets the rule of law. Sovereignty of the individual citizen is at the heart of democracy, is at the heart of human rights and all liberal moves that we talk about. And that is missing. And how is that missing? Let me just give you two examples. Not because you don't have a telephone, but you are so confident that if I call up a government office on phone, I'll get good rational response. And just one more example I'd like to put before you again. This goes back to over a century back in South Africa. This is a story all of you know. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi got inside that train and he was thrown out because a white man complained. In the same story, there is something else that's mentioned most of us don't focus on. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi complained about what had happened to him by telegram. And in about 12 to 14 hours, the radio official came, put him on the next train. Try and think of the significance of this story. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was a second-rate human being by South African law. He was not a citizen of South Africa, even as a human being. The law as it stood treated him because he was a brown as a second-rate human being. Despite that, he complained by telegram and the system responded in 12 to 14 hours. We are all first-rate citizens of this nation. If you file a complaint with the railways, forget 12 to 14 hours. In 12 to 14 months, you'll be lucky if you get even a response. That is what is missing, and that is what slowly we are bringing about to bring the true democracy into this nation. We call this Lok Shahi. Lok Shahi means Logo ki Shahenshah. You man should feel like a begum, you sir should feel like a Badshah when you deal with the government, but that doesn't happen here. The average citizen doesn't feel a Badshah or a begum, and that is the root cause of our lack of trust, lack of satisfaction with our governments and governments. It's not to do with individual leaders. It's to do with entire systems. It's to do with empowerment of the individual citizen. Today, if a major catastrophe occurs, if 100,000 of us get together, maybe somebody will listen to us. But one individual citizen's voice is not heard. And that individual citizen has to be empowered. Without that, there is no reasonable human rights. Without that, there is no democracy. Right to information was the first move we got where individual citizen was being recognized and being given a special status. In right to information, if an individual citizen sits at her own home and sends an application, and the officer, public servant does not respond, the public servant is liable to pay a personal penalty from his salary of up to 25,000 rupees. This is a huge thing if you realize it establishes, recognizes the sovereignty of the individual citizen. Just one individual citizen. We have nothing like that in comparison before this. Therefore, right to information is progressing and is doing reasonably well, I would submit. But there's another law in Maharashtra. Right to information gives you information. It cannot redress a grievance. It cannot get action for you, which is a very necessary part. There is an act in Maharashtra, and I call it a confidential act, because nobody knows about it. It's a law, and law is what is written. If you do not implement it, that's at your peril. This law, and there's a very peculiar story to this. In 2003, Anna Hazare went on a fast at Azad Maidan in Mumbai, and he had 3 demands. 2 of these were, one was a Right to Information Act for Maharashtra. The second was this act. Right to Information Act was promulgated in Maharashtra, and this law was brought in originally as an ordinance. Subsequently, it was made into a law, but it's almost an unused law. I'm going to tell you about this and something else which is hopefully interesting enough. Okay, the name of this law is Government Servants Regulation of Transfers and Prevention of Delay in Discharge of Official Duties. It's a 14-word name. Perhaps that is the reason why nobody remembers this name. I think people have realized that if you have a 3-word name like Right to Information or RTI, it catches everybody's popular imagination. It's the names you all remember. So I suppose those who drafted this law gave a 14-word name. याद नहीं रहेगा, इसमें करेंगे क्या? It's called Act 21 of 2006, also known as Transfers, Charters and Details Act or Daftari Diranga Act. There are 3 important parts to this, and we'll focus on the last one, but it's worthwhile looking at the other 2 as well. Section 4 talks of transfers. It says tenure of government servants will be 3 years, and transfers will normally be made only in April and May of each year. If an officer has to be transferred for special reasons, in less than his tenure, reasons have to be recorded in writing. I can say, what does this have to do with governance? Huge amount. An average officer, when he gets transferred, he normally takes 3 to 4 months to understand the working of the new office, the new responsibility given to him. Quite often he is transferred in 6 to 8 months. By the time he starts thinking and saying, how do I implement change, how do I bring betterment, he's transferred off. So the satisfaction of doing a job well becomes fairly reduced. Apart from which we are all aware that transfer is used as a weapon to reward people in what is called plum posts, which means where a lot of bribes can be obtained. And on the other hand, if an officer is very independent and doesn't listen to the political establishment, he again is transferred. By this device, good public servants cannot deliver to citizens, cannot perform well, by design itself. Therefore, this law which says guaranteed tenure for civil servants. Also, why only April and May? Because most government servants have children who are in the school going age. And if you transfer them in October, November, December, it's a very big problem for them. And therefore this says, as an exception you may transfer. But has this law been implemented? The answer is no. Things are as it was before, and we'll deal with that a little later. Section 2A and 8 talk of citizens' charters. Just read what this says. Citizens' charter means a list of facilities or services rendered by the office or department, together with the time limit for providing such facility or services. Every office or department shall prepare and publish citizens' charter within a period of 6 months from the date of commencement of this act. If no final decision is taken within the period specified in the Citizens' Charter by the concerned authorities, the responsibility for inaction shall be fixed on them, and action mentioned in the relevant Act, rules or regulations shall be taken against them. Truthfully, if we had a Citizens' Charter that mentioned all services and facilities provided by any department or any office, and there was accountability mentioned in it, we would get far, far better governance. This again has been followed more by default. Some places citizens' charters in a very lackadaisical manner have been made. By and large, this has not been done. And nobody has held them accountable. No, we are aware of this. We got talking of so many things. Laws by themselves will not change until citizens get them implemented. And I repeat, law is what is written by a statute. Law is not what somebody wishes to implement. The law in this nation, once it is a statute, has to be followed by the president, the prime minister, chief minister, everybody. In our nation, we've accepted that all laws need not be followed or implemented. That option I would submit to you is open only to Dawood Ibrahim and Arun Gowli and people of that end. They say we will not implement laws, we will not listen to laws, we will listen to what we believe is right. Unfortunately, our governments also have become like that, and we need to do something about this. Citizens' Charter. Every office or department must publish Citizens' Charter within 6 months. Citizens' Charter means a list of facilities or services rendered by the office or department. This should be updated in May each year with inputs from public. If each year we were active and said, make your Citizens' Charter firstly because the law mandates this. Things that are missing, we said, please put it to the Citizens' Charter. You would have seen Maharashtra's governance becoming the leader in this nation. There is no doubt about it. Now, I've been talking about this and some other people have been talking about it with no result. The government refuses to implement them because they also don't know about the act, and if they know, they say they're not going to implement it. So some of us have been trying to popularize this law, so far unsuccessfully. Therefore, we've now decided to go into a campaign mode and try and enforce the third part of this law. The first two parts are important. Someday we should get all of this implemented. But as a first step, since we are unable to get the law implemented, we are saying, can we run a campaign to enforce the third part of this law, which is extremely important also. What does it say? Section 9 says delegation of powers. The head of every office or department shall publish the list of powers delegated to the subordinate officers working under them for taking final decision. The head of every office or department shall determine as far as possible 3 levels of submission for taking final decision on all matters pertaining to that office or department. Those of us who deal with government here are aware that quite often it's a very favorite game which we play at parties, which is passing the parcel. In government departments, it's called passing the paper. A paper will keep on moving to 10, 15, 20 people until you lose sight of where in the world this paper is. This law stipulates that most things should be decided only by 3 people. Period. And this law says something else, that each government servant shall not keep a file for more than 7 working days. Which translates to about 10 working days. When a file lands up at the table of a government servant, it is not meant to hatch eggs. It is meant to be dealt with expeditiously. If you don't do that, governance suffers tremendously, and today governance suffers because a lot of files just don't move, period. They land up somewhere and somebody just neglects them, doesn't look at them, he looks at what perhaps the minister tells him to look at, or what there is a lot of public pressure, or the newspapers have reported. That's not the way anything can work. You just imagine if your college said, only when there is an agitation we'll have lectures. There are routines that must be followed if governments have to work, and that is not happening. Lists of powers delegated to the subordinate officers, the levels of submission shall be prepared and published 1 year from the date of commencement of this Act and shall be updated on 1st of April every succeeding year. Not done. This has not been done at all. Now, I am telling you of things that have not been done. Then what's the purpose of this talk? I'll come to that later. Section 10. Every government servant shall be bound to discharge his official duties in the official work assigned pertaining to them most diligently, provided that normally no file shall remain pending with any government servant in the department or office for more than 7 working days. Provided also that in respect of files not required to be... I think this is running short of power. I think this is collaborating with public servants who don't want to follow the law. The concerned department shall take the decision and necessary action in the matter within 45 days. And in respect of files required to be referred to any other department, decision and necessary action shall be taken within 3 months. This is the powerful part of this law. What is a government file? Any application, complaint or representation by public servant, my apologies, a citizen is a file in a government. It's not meant to be thrown away. Effectively, this means for decisions which do not have to be taken by more than one department, in 45 days, no matter what it is, you must get a response. Even if a matter has to be referred to 3 or 4 or 5 departments, it places the responsibility on them to ensure that within 3 months, you get a response and an action. If this happens, normally even if a public servant is corrupt, he will not reject your application unnecessarily, he will not take no action against your complaint if he is forced to respond. But the standard move in most government departments for collecting bribes is just not attending to what you say. Until money is paid, nobody attends to a file. And he says, we haven't taken this. We'll take our decision when we want to. This single part, getting decisions within 45 days, stroke 90 days, can change the face of governance of this state. Hopefully, we can set an example to the nation and get the entire nation to adopt a law like this. Just to summarize, most decisions should be taken at 3 levels. No file should remain with any officer for more than 7 working days. For all files which do not require reference to other departments, decision and necessary action should be taken within 45 days. If there is a delay and it is brought to the attention of the head of department, he must initiate a preliminary inquiry and order disciplinary action if required. People say, reasonably correctly, that the RTI Act works because there are personal penalties. Financial penalties to be paid by a civil servant, otherwise nobody would have bothered. The RTI Act would also have fallen by the wayside. Most public servants fear disciplinary action more than a financial penalty. In the RTI Act, only if a public servant persistently fails and violates the law, the Information Commission can only recommend disciplinary action. Here, this law talks of initiating disciplinary action for failure. This is huge. Most of us have not understood or realized this. And today, therefore, when you file for violation of this, except rare cases, generally, even your representation is neglected. Also, let me tell you, even within government, what happens to file. Let me just give you 1 or 2 examples of this. I asked an RTI about proposal sent by the Director General of Police in Maharashtra to the Home Department, and how many were delayed by more than 90 days. That's also a fine. And if the Director General of Police sends something to the Home Department, it must be attended to. I was given a list of over 200 proposals sent by DGP which had been hatching eggs in the Home Department with no decision. And amongst those, one of them was, after the 26/11 attack, they had decided that they needed speedboats to man Mumbai's coastline so that such an attack could not take place. So 32 speedboats were bought at a cost of 75 crore rupees. After these were bought, they discovered there was no provision to provide diesel in those. So the DGP sent a proposal to the Home Department saying, we bought these speedboats, we spent 75 crore rupees, but we can't run these because we have no provision in rules or laws to provide for diesel for this. This proposal for 2 years, at the time the information was given to me, had no decision been taken, they just kept it on one side. I later discovered that those 75 crore rupees speedboats had rusted because they were just kept somewhere lying around. They can't be used. I do not know whether the security of the nation and Mumbai are at risk or not, but those who decided to buy those speedboats evidently thought there is a risk and we can be running a national risk if this is the way we continue. He must carry out a preliminary inquiry within 15 working days. This is a very powerful thing. There is a timeline. Unfortunately, the RTI Act for commissioners, there is no timeline. Because commissioners like to believe we are like Supreme Court judges. So they say, judges work without timelines, we should also work without timelines. But here, this law specifies a timeline of 15 days for a preliminary inquiry, at the end of which they must figure out whether somebody is responsible and who is responsible. Act will not apply. Incidentally, Section 11 specifies what the Act will not apply to matters relating to sub judice matters, cases referred to Lok Ayukt or Up Lok Ayuks and other constitutional institutions, quasi-judicial matters, cases related to central or other state governments, cases related to legislation, and cases involving major policy decisions. But that is not what really affects most of us. As an example, application for water connection, repair permission, change of address, complaint of unauthorized construction, pension for over 90 days could be dealt with by sending a letter to the Secretary of the Department or Municipal Commissioner. Incidentally, this law does not apply to municipal corporations, but there are provisions in the municipal laws which exactly say the same thing as far as these things are concerned. For example, for Mumbai Municipal Corporation, we have Section 64C of the Mumbai Municipal Corporation Act, and for all the other corporations in Maharashtra is Section 72C of the Maharashtra Municipal Corporation Act. So Pune, if you want to complain to the Municipal Commissioner, you can complain to him quoting Section 72C of the Maharashtra Municipal Corporation Act. An extremely simple draft. I would urge you, if you find a case where you have filed an application, send off a letter like this if it's over 90 days. Municipal Corporation, again, the same thing. And we can build this campaign, we shall build this campaign. This is very, very simple, you don't have to follow this. But this is a draft where you can very lazily just fill up your name and details and send it off. Now, I found it fascinating that this is not a concept just in Maharashtra. Theoretically, government has accepted this. Central government, what happens? This is not the law, but I'm just trying to back up to explain to you that this is really elementary for governance and to run a government. For central government bodies, Manual of Office Procedures of Department of Personnel Training says this: prompt response to letters received. Each communication received from a member of parliament, member of the public, recognized association or public body will be acknowledged within 15 days, followed by a reply within the next 15 days of the acknowledgement sent. I love this provision. It recognizes that any citizen is equal to a member of parliament. In fact, I would submit that you have greater legitimacy because you give legitimacy to a member of parliament, not the other way around. member of parliament or member of legislature are there because you vote for them. And this recognizes, it says whether it's MP or a citizen, within 15 days an acknowledgement must be sent. Again, this is not being operated. This is not a law, but the manual is also meant to be followed. I would submit to you that a manual, circular, rules, law, all have to be followed. You cannot say, I will not follow this. Where delay is anticipated in sending a final reply, or information is to be obtained from another ministry or another office, an interim reply will be sent within a month, indicating the possible date by which a final reply can be given. If beautiful, I thought this was only the RTI Act, but this is what the manual says. If any such communication is wrongly addressed to a department, it will be transferred promptly within a week to the appropriate department and the intimation to the party concerned. This is a provision in the RTI Act, but this is a provision in the DOPT's Manual of Office Procedure. Because the citizen may not, most times, know, even government doesn't know which department deals with it. How is a citizen going to understand this? For municipal corporations, Act 21 of 2006 does not apply, but for municipal corporations in Maharashtra, Section 72C of the Maharashtra Municipal Corporations Act and Section 64C of the Mumbai Municipal Corporation Act. If a complaint representation application has not been responded to, please mention the relevant sections for municipal corporations or Act 21. Similar draft. Now, we've realized that so far we are not having effect, and most government departments are treating this like trash. Even if you file a complaint against these drafts. So we decided we'll build a campaign around this. We got a web link which is given there. Act 21 of 2006. The format for the letters that I mentioned have been given here. And we call this the Goose for Bhusa campaign. Punch the bride. The wall is brides. And kick out bride. It's not just complaining and cribbing that there is corruption. Ask yourself, can I do something about it? And I believe you can. If we get this law implemented, we can see a fantastic change in the governance of this state. There is a form that you fill up, very simple, your name, your email ID, contact number, department to which you file a complaint, date of filing complaint under so and so, response received, kindly update text of your complaint. There is a box, do a copy and paste in that. And then you can click on the responses and action, Act 21 of 2006, citizen responses. You will see your response immediately over there. Using Act 21 of 2006 for accountability. After filing a complaint under Act 21 of 2006, also send a copy to PCTP. What are we hoping to do? Extremely simple, let me explain to you. We are hoping to get a few thousand on record over here saying that the government is not following this law or the municipal corporation is not following this law, which we know. But we have no evidence of it today. We have one case, two cases, which doesn't make a difference. If we build this, ideally, our first hope, and I live with hope, I'm an optimist, is that the government, when it realizes that hundreds of such complaints are coming, will start responding and implementing the law. Ideal, that's what a democracy should be. Maybe that doesn't happen. We will then collect these thousands and run a media campaign and confront the Chief Minister and the municipal corporations and say, how dare you not follow this law? There is no response that anybody can give, and no political party will be able to rescind this law. It will be a political harakiri if they did that. Yet if it doesn't result in positive results, then we should go to a vote. We need to build evidence. And we want ordinary citizens to do this. Each of you in this hall, or whoever is convinced, Take this story to 5 or 10 friends and say, look, if there is a case like this, please file. Let me give you a very simple example. Sanction for prosecution is sought by Anti-Corruption Bureau, and even that is not given for 90 days, at times for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. What's the logic of it? And this is openly there. You go to the Anti-Corruption Bureau website, it's there. Getting service in a time-bound manner, getting decisions in a time-bound manner is the essence. Human beings are not immortal. We have expiry dates. Therefore, it is essential that every action, every activity is done within a time-bound manner. They may say your complaint is worthless. Fair enough. But that response must be there. That is the minimum respect that the sovereign citizen of this nation must get. And if you don't get it, we will never have real democracy. How we can persuade Maharashtra government? I don't like to say we shall force Maharashtra government. We persuade. Make the government work for you. Use Act 21. If application complaint representation has been given and there is no response under Act 21 of this, please go to this website and fill up the form. If you get or do not get a response within 60 days, please inform us at the email ID given. You can make this act work. Nobody but you can make this act work. Will you make this act work? Yes. That's a very soft yes. अरे बोलने में भी तकलीफ है तो फिर क्या यार, हम छोटे थे तो एक आदमी इतना आवाज करता. Will you make this act work? Yes. Great. Propagate this. Democracy is about active citizenship. It is about taking responsibility. Not merely saying the political class does this, the public servant does this, the government does this. Then what are you doing? Individually, I think we are responsible for our governance not being good. It's not just about somebody else, it is about us. And if we do that, we will get a huge change in our governance, stop cribbing and start acting. Lastly, I want to end this with a small story. You may feel, what can I do alone? This is a normal thing a citizen face. He says, I tried 10 RT applications, which one? I did this 10 times, it doesn't work. It works when a lot of us do it. If we get 30 lakh Indian citizens to say we will fight for our rights, we will spend 2 hours each month to make my government and governance improve, we'll get a huge change in this nation. Can I do something individually? Is the issue that I want to put before you, because right to information as well as this instrument, depending on the individual feeling empowered. The story I'm going to tell you happened 5,000 years back. It was Amavasya, the night when there is no moon. People had gathered at the beach to watch the sunset. It's a beautiful picture. Red, golden, yellow, orange, with a wisp of a cloud. It's lovely seeing the sunset and people are watching it. The sun was going down the horizon. It went down, down, and then only the last rim of the sun would be seen. And everyone said in 2 to 3 minutes, the sun will set. They watched 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The sun was not set. It appeared to have been frozen. People were worried. They felt something is going to happen. A catastrophe is going to strike Earth. Because the laws of nature, the laws of routine are changing completely. The sun is just frozen over there. They started running, screaming. One little girl of 6 picked up courage and asked the sun. She said, Lord Sun, why are you not setting? We are all very scared that the earth may end if the nature changes completely. And the sun replied, he said, today is Amavasya. And I'm worried that once I said there will be complete darkness. And today it worries me. One little lamp with a little bit of oil in it said, Lord son, give me your spark and I will light up. And if I light up, even if there is one lamp, there cannot be complete darkness, there is some light. The sun gave his spark to this little lamp. The sun set, and this little lamp gave its spark to many other lamps around. And that, my friends, was the first Deepavali. Thank you very much. God bless.
For those enlightening words. We will now be having a question and answer session, and we'll be taking questions from the audience, which will be answered by the panel. Mr. Satish Kode, Vice Chairman of the DCGT Pune chapter, would be conducting this question and answer session. Thank you.
When I called Symbiosis, I said particularly as people down here, and they're very active. I have had a couple of pictures and the questions that they asked. I realized that I could. Now let's hear from you also how well you know and what you have. So is yours. You have to come up and stand up and say what you like. In fact, I'm going to the question. You can start off. You are the guy that I know who was RTI specialist around here. I know Parker.
Recently, Home Ministry has released GR in this regard. Recently, Home Ministry released one GR regarding this about this grievances and all. We assisted State of Maharashtra published that GR in Lokmat and Times of India newspaper. So, those who are interested can go through it, and the ideal party can approach to the concerned forum. Because Home Secretary could directly, if the grievances are not being addressed within 30 days, they can directly to approach to Deputy Secretary Home. As you said, under also your concern. So, I think government is acting positively on this.
Shut it off. Turn that off, please. Excuse me.
Government is per se in this regard. The thing is that public awareness, as we RT activists always focus, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों को चिंता होने का जरूरत है और गवर्नमेंट को शेयर करने का जरूरत है कि about their civic rights, what happened, government is going to do legislation something, people are not aware about that.
Sir, I will slightly disagree with you. It's not really, it is the government's responsibility to implement laws. The policeman standing on that road gets a law implemented. If you break a signal, or you break a traffic rule, or you break some other law, he arrests you. In laws like this, which the government has to implement, it's extremely lax. And even RTI, let me tell you, is a huge regressive movement which is going on just now. Unless citizens act, and I would blame citizens for not acting. I would not blame the bureaucrat, I would not blame the political class. I will say we are responsible if we don't get implemented. We are the democracy. Let us make it function, sir, in my opinion.
Mr. Rao, would you have any query?
Section 11, which gives exceptions, is understandable from the sub-condition. It says state government and central government. What does it mean? That means we just can't take any subject which is, because everything comes under the government.
So what it says is that there is no central act. Therefore, or let's say you have a issue which is to do with Gujarat and Maharashtra state. If Gujarat doesn't have that, Maharashtra can do nothing. That is what really it implies.
Other government.
Because if it doesn't do with other governments, how will they enforce this? Anyone else? Arvind?
Are there any penal provisions for not following this act by government officials?
Disciplinary action, which is the biggest threat. My friend Mr. God would know this very well. The biggest threat that government can hold against a person is the action and remark in the annual confidential report. That is feared far more than financial risks.
No, not financial, meaning any jail term or something like that.
Not jail, there is no jail. I think that would be too harsh. But disciplinary action threat itself is huge, my friend.
What we are seeing in PMC is under the Maharashtra Municipal Corporation Act, the commissioner has wide-range powers to compound any violation of laws. And what these PMC officials are not doing, they are doing all illegal things, and the commissioner is going around compounding them. And they don't have any fear of this section, what is 72 of this Maharashtra Municipal Corporation Act. So how to go about it? Because
my submission would be get maybe 1,000 people in Pune to start filing complaints about such illegal authorizations. You build a campaign, media will come up. Today, democracy, one thing is there. Do I say it? I call it an defective elective democracy. But if we start participating, put pressure, governments have to respond. They cannot respond.
As Mr. Ram said, what about the students? What about the students? We expect some queries from you. What do you plan to do?
Okay, a small message to the students. What I have realized is, especially when students are concerned, either in a talk, I have been able to communicate so well that there are no doubts. Or I have communicated so poorly that nobody's understand a damn thing about it. I don't know which of these two it is, but
why don't you take on? It is clear the students are very intelligent, they have grasped everything.
Hello. Shailesh, you might remember when the Right to Information Act came as a central act, and we already had a state act, and we had a seminar in Indian Merchant Chamber, you were there. And Shailesh made a request that why don't we continue with the state act and let the central act also continue. So I said, look, we cannot have both acts because the central act normally supersedes the state act. Similarly, in this present act, which we have discussed, we know there is a Right to Service Act which has come up, I think, in 2015. That, as you said, has the appellate structure for imposing penalties like you have in the Right to Information Act. So that is a much more superior and well thought out act. This was, you might say, in the nature of a preliminary step, because citizen charter is a very popular sort of jargon, you might say, which was borrowed from the Western countries, and we said citizen charter. But as lawyers, we all know that a citizen charter is like a charter. It does not take care of the statutory needs. The Right to Service Act takes care of the statutory needs, where every comma and full stop matters. So citizen charter is not good enough. So the weakness of this act was that it did not have the statutory framework. Now you have a new act called the Right to Service Act, which, like the Right to Information Act, gives the levels of appellate authorities. The department is supposed to take action, and if that person in that department does not take that action, there is a penal provision like in the RTI. So I think this is the act which we should talk about, and this earlier act is now somewhat obsolescent in my opinion.
So with due respect, I beg to disagree with this. I have studied the Right to Services Act. In my opinion, it's a fairly weak act. If I talk of penalty, the penalty specified are 500 to 5,000. With no linkage to anything, it's an arbitrary, depending on the appellate authority. 2, RTI Act has 2 appellate structures. Here they have 3. In an RTI Act, the PIO cannot go in appeal. Here the public servant can also go into appeal. So just imagine a situation where, let's say, the first appellate authority penalizes this chap 1,000 rupees, and the public servant goes into an appeal. An average citizen cannot fight 3 levels of appeals. And I have looked at some of the other provisions. In fact, in one place, it says that sanctioning itself will take the place of action. Even if you don't take action, you just give sanction to something, that's adequate. The act, I would submit, has been framed very poorly. I'm aware that this is the Chief Minister's pet act. And my analysis is that perhaps the bureaucrats have realized that this was too powerful an act and therefore this should be promoted, is my submission.
I agree with you. There are certain basic weaknesses in the Act in terms of the number of appellate authorities which are provided for.
Only closer.
There are certain weaknesses in the Act. I fully agree with you on that. There are more appellate authorities than there were in the RTI Act, which is clearly a fatal weakness. But the RTI was a central act. This is a state act. So, like in the RTI Act, if we have a central legislation, I think we will be moving on the right.
Anyone else? What about young people? There's no questioning. Are you going to push it? What are you going to do about this? Or at least will you take it out? Oh, there's a young man with his hand up. That's the youngest.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my question is, do you think that the Information Commission would have worked better had it been an autonomous body like the Election Commission, or like it would have been a constitutional body? Because it's just a statutory body, if I'm wrong.
Okay, my friend, you are studying law. I've heard this argument often enough. What is really the fundamental difference between a constitutional authority and a statutory authority? Both are laws. Whether you call somebody a constitutional authority, are you aware that police constable is a constitutional authority, but an information commissioner is not?
Sir, the Information Commission is appointed by the Chief Minister and Government. Sir, the Information Commissioner is appointed with the advice of Chief Ministers and Governors. Hence, it has some obligation to them, right? So, I don't think they can work really autonomous.
Okay. On that, I tell you, all commissions, all locals are appointed by an arbitrary system in our nation. And let's stretch this further. The judges are also appointed in an opaque manner. Human Rights Commission, Women's Commission, Children's Commission, all are appointed in a vague manner, largely depending on networking and sifarishbazi. We need to change that. I mean, complete explanation for all of us.
It's about the post-appointment security of tenure.
Post-appointment, the security of tenure of an information commissioner.
The Chief Election Commissioner and the judges of the courts, they enjoy security of tenure. Government cannot remove them.
No, information commissioner also government cannot remove. Government has no power to remove an information commissioner unless it makes a reference to the Supreme Court with allegations, and the Supreme Court accepts those allegations. Only then an information. So effectively, it's almost impossible to remove an information commissioner. That way, security of tenure is there, sir.
No, I think the answer lies in one little thing. Mr. Shailesh Gandhi was an activist before he became the Information Commissioner. And by creating a record of applications disposed of by him, he has shown you what it can be, whether it is a constitutional authority or not. That's it. He has shown you what can be done.
Is there anyone that like this conversation that goes on?
But a comment, if I may. I absolutely commend the work that you have done as an activist and then as the Chief Information Officer. I'm sorry, Central. And I understand the basic premise that this is an equation. After all, the very politicians that we keep saying are not doing this, are not doing that, have in fact passed this legislation because of activists. The question is, why is it still not being implemented? And you're saying the citizenry should be more active. So that equation has to work. My comment to you is, Under normal circumstances, that equation can be well balanced and a more active citizenry can hope to win. But there are situations of a failing law and order situation, which act as a dampener to the ordinary citizen. And there it becomes really very difficult for the citizens to say that even if my leg is going to be broken, even if somebody is going to hit me in the street, I'm still going to stand for my rights. I would like you to comment on that, because that is calling for extraordinary courage on the part of citizens, which is very difficult when you have so many competing interests within our democracy at the moment. Because for everybody who feels passionately willing to give their life for a certain thing, there are equal number of people on the other side who say, I will give my life for something else. I'm reminded of that very dramatic scene in the Gandhi film, where there was some incident where the British decided to just hit the demonstrators. And one by one, each one went, got knocked down, and still said we would fight. Why? Because there was one goal and they were all united. My fear is that in the complex democracy that we now have, with a failing law and order situation, it's going to be more and more difficult for citizens to exercise their rights. I would just like you to comment on this.
Ma'am, okay, I look at this, if I take a broader context, and this also some people have argued with me, that when I say India is a defective elective democracy, they say the countries in the West took a few centuries to evolve into the democracies they have. The point is we want it done faster. To your issue of whether the individual empowerment will work, I have seen in the last decade RTI acting as a great empowerment tool. There are lots of problems, there are a lot of regression, but it's still moving ahead. And I think citizens are questioning things far more than they did. An India Against Corruption campaign run by Arvind Kejriwal, I don't think it was a very honest campaign, but let's forget that. The truth is, lakhs of people around the nation started feeling we can do something. People who normally have not gone for a protest rally. At least what I am seeing is, there is a great resurgence of individual citizen action. Active citizenship has not yet come, but I would hope that it does. As far as the threats are concerned, ma'am, my own analysis is, yes, there are threats, there are assaults, but if I compare to the total number of people, this figure is not very high. In fact, I genuinely believe there is a greater risk when I travel by train in Mumbai. Every day 10 to 15 people die. And we also know, like, okay, I've been into activism. I've never faced a threat. People ask me often, has somebody ever threatened you? I tell them no. Has somebody ever offered you money? And I say no. They say, why? Now, how do I explain that unless I go around asking those people, why did you not offer me a bribe? The truth is, and I've compared notes with some other activists also who are fairly prominent. And we started at base level. It wasn't that, okay, today people may say I faced that slightly more. When I started, it wasn't the case. I would submit to you that the threat is represented far more when it happens to an activist, understandably. Because the media will report that. An ordinary person getting killed in an accident is hardly reported.
I have a question, sir. To what extent has this act curbed the corruption in this particular state?
Which act?
Act of 2006.
Zero. Because that's why I call it a confidential act. Citizens are unaware. In a few cases where citizens are aware and they file something, government doesn't respond, it treats it like trash. That's why this campaign is saying if a few thousand of us can do it, we can make this law work.
Secondly, sir, I have one more question. The question is that this act has its application only in Maharashtra. Is there any other alternative enactment or any other statute other than RTA, sir?
Other than RTA?
So other than RTA in other states, because it has its enforceability only within the state of Maharashtra.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I have not studied that. I'm saying Maharashtra, let's make it work, we'll make it a model for the whole nation.
Thank you, sir.
We had already taken one instance Why don't you read what happened on that?
Okay, I think this is the last little bit of this thing before I go away from here. I was hoping to hear more from young people, more questions, but it seems people, there's one someone there. Yes, go ahead. Rather you than me. Anyway, I get you now.
People sitting on the panel, we are
Loudly bolo yaar, aise to.
People sitting on the panel are experts on the issue of RTI. We know that the RTI works and you know how it works. Okay, so wouldn't it be feasible to file an RTI in each and every department about the status of the RTIs of the pending RTIs and the nature of the pending RTIs, rather than going on about educating people? It's a tedious task. We'll have to go to 10,000 people, out of which 200 will realize and 100 will file an appeal. Okay, it would be more feasible if you go to 200 departments, see the income tax department, the police department, the municipal corporation, and so on and so forth. You file an RTI, you know the limitations of the RTI, and they'll have to revert back to you, and you know how to pester them better than the people who are sitting in this room or who you will be going to. So I don't think any discussion of this kind is more feasible than you doing that.
My friends, right to information gives you access to information. Okay? If you file a complaint saying there is an illegal building here, and you ask under RTI what action have you taken, the answer can be no action has been taken and the matter is there. You have no further recourse as far as right to information is concerned. This law, on the other hand, if you file a complaint, they have to respond without your having to do anything. If we can get responses to, if you file for a water connection or a ration card, they have to respond. They cannot, and there are hundreds, in fact thousands of instances where governments do not respond to a citizen at all. RTI only gets that information, he kuch nahi kiya. But beyond that, it cannot get action.
Sir, if you have to run a media campaign, you don't need action. You don't need no action, you don't need anything, you need the numbers. You can get the numbers via RTI. Why bother people with another law?
I would beg to disagree, my friend, this would be a law. I have been neck deep into a right to information in the last 10, 11 years. If I felt that good, then I would have stuck to RTI. But it would need a much longer discussion. It would be difficult for me to.
And I'm thinking a little further. He talked about an illegal building. I had complained about an illegal building 10 months back, and no action had been taken. I wrote to the chief secretary. I sent him an email listing out the complaint that I made with the person under their management, but no action had been taken. Within 45 minutes of my email reaching him, the chief secretary, I said, I have not received your letter. I am asking so and so person now to take action on this. The quickest response I have never got your letter, because I have mentioned Article 21 of 2006, and immediately it must have written, इसमें कुछ हो सकता है. So immediately the question, I am waiting for the 90th day, and again on the 90th day, say action हुआ क्या नहीं, we'll take it. Guys, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Rao.
What happened was, within 15 minutes, the chief secretary acknowledged. Whenever I send an email, whether it is to the government of Maharashtra or to municipal commissioner, I get an acknowledgement saying it's been passed on to the concerned department. But I do not get what the department has done. They never respond. Now this is where the action and punishment should be.
On 90th day of that, I'm waiting for some action to be taken that I will. There's one last question, the gentleman down there. So you should tell your name. We want to know you are, because tomorrow you, the questioners, are the ones who are going to be the leaders in this campaign. Not just in the campaign, in the country.
Sir, I wanted to ask you one question. That one of the citizens had applied for information relating to the details of the death of Subhash Chandra Bose and people like Shastri and everybody, but the government had denied information to them, saying that the information had been classified as sensitive, considering that the RTI takes into account every detail that the government has regarding citizens and the day-to-day transactions of the government? Doesn't the RTI also in some cases provide too much information to the citizens which might not be healthy for the political atmosphere of the country?
You have the freedom to speak what you like. Will you be willing to allow a curve on that?
Sorry, sir?
Will you be willing to allow a curve on your freedom to speak?
So in some cases it's good anyways.
No. Just think carefully. I think you heard me. This Murda Punjab, there was a great controversy. Freedom of expression is being challenged. To my mind, right to information falls in the same category. Whether each one of these is useful or not is not, but more transparency will do this nation far better good. And on these Lal Bahadur Shastri and Subhash Bose files, I would submit that calling it sensitive is illegal as far as RTI Act is concerned. The word sensitive does not exist in RTI. And third, tell me carefully, if information on Lal Bahadur Shastri's death had been revealed, or information about Subhash Chandra Bose's death or whatever had been revealed, what in the world do you think would have happened to this nation? Would any calamity have come?
Yes, sir.
What calamity would have come? Please tell me.
Sir, you can easily consider the aspect of politicization of the issue because anyway...
My friends, politicization is not a negative. Now you will question and say, why should I have a right to vote? My point is, by itself it would have done nothing. Politically, somebody would have gained, somebody would have lost, depending on. And the whole point is, in right information, people who question this and talk of misuse, they do not respect the citizen. We believe in a democracy that the citizen is mature enough to elect a government. And we say he is mature enough to elect a government, but not mature enough to handle information. I think this is a very dangerous argument. It is being given by those in power, and to some extent, people are taking to it, but I genuinely believe, and we may have to differ on this, but I genuinely believe that more information without curves will do the nation far greater good than putting curves on it.
Sir, so far as information relating to death of Subhash Chandra Bose is concerned, it would have spoiled our relations with certain friendly foreign countries because he was an enemy alien so far as the Allied forces in the Second World War were concerned. So for them, he is a war criminal, and if you are harboring him and if you are concealing the information, or suppose now it is disclosed that Indian government was knowing that Subhash Chandra Bose was alive and he was in India and the government did not disclose this, it would have repercussions on our friendly relations with foreign countries, including the allied nations.
Sir, I carefully think this through to believe that it would have any repercussions. What happened 30 years or 40 years or 60 years back? Britain ruled India, but today that's absolutely irrelevant. We may disclose the fact that some General Dyer committed atrocities. I don't think it affects our...
No, sir, it's not about Britain. It's about siding with the Nazi forces. Because Subhash Chandra Bose...
I would only beg to disagree. I do not carefully think it out. I mean, would it affect any relations? In fact, if I told you what my father did to your father, I still don't think it would affect our relations.
Okay, I think there are some questions. See, when a young man sets his hand, I think that is they're going to submit to him to ask a question. Dr. Bulford, please. Dr. Bulford, as long as young people raise their hand and ask questions, we'll go on. And they have to be intelligent questions. You give your name and tell what you're talking about.
Sir, sir, a follow-up on the question asked by the last person. Sir, as you just said, you disagree with the system. Sir, you yourself were the head of this system. So what have you done to prevent such things from happening? Like...
No, okay, I have mentioned that most appointments like this are made by Sifarish Bazi and recommendation. You may wonder what recommendations did I get or what strings did I pull. Let me tell you, my appointment was a sheer fluke. And I tell you what exactly happened. Ever since the law had come, we had been fighting for appointment of information commissioners in a transparent manner, which is not happening. In August 2008,
Arvind Kejriwal, from his sources in the Delhi, got to know that the government had decided on 4 names for the next set of commissioners. We realized that our battle to say have a more transparent process was not helping. So Arvind came up with this idea. He said, Shailesh, let's propose a panel of 4. Saying, Hamari Sameri, Tumhari Sameri se kaise behtar hai. So we got a panel of 4, myself, 2 IIM professors and a 4th gentleman. And we got some prominent people to send letters to the Leader of Opposition, Advani, Prime Minister and DOPD Minister, then Prithviraj Chauhan, recommending these names. Nobody would have looked at it. The 4th name on that was R.V. Shri B.G of Gujarat, who had openly opposed Modi after the Godhra incidents.
I would now like to call upon Mr. S.C. Nagpal, Chairman PCGT Pune Chapter, to deliver the presidential address and concluding remarks.
You can afford not to hear me, but I will try to make myself heard. A friend of mine, who is my batchmate and was the Chief Secretary of Haryana, has written a book on Ramayana. It's based on Valmiki Ramayana. And I have been going through that book because he presented it to me sometime back in Delhi. Sri Ram, when he was only very young, he was demanded by Sage Vishwamitra. He came to King Deshmukh and asked that these Rakshasas were disturbing them in their life. All these rishis were having a problem. And he felt that King Deshmukh was too old, so he may not be able to help them too much. So he asked for the hand of Ram. So, and King Deshmukh said, no, he's too small a boy. And he can't help you. He says, no. He's going to learn. He's going to learn. He's going to be the future king of Ayodhya. So why don't you give it to him? Give it to me. So he took Ram. And of course Ram rid them of Bahu and Marich. But at that very time, and as he was returning to Ayodhya, he got a message from King Janak that he was having a swayamvar for his daughter Sita. And as the caravan was about to leave, the Rishi decided that they will go to Raja Janak's territory and go, and Ram should participate in swayamvar also if he feels that. Now, there, once they met, Ram realized that King Janak was a sage himself. He was a very erudite person, a person who was knowledgeable. So he sat with him one day, asking him how anybody should behave when he is the king and he has problems on hand. So he told him, look, the ruling of any kingdom does not come easy. You have to know the truth. Truth is the only thing that you need to know to rule. And you have to give justice to your people. That's about all. But how do you give justice without knowing the truth? So he says, is it difficult? He says, it is definitely difficult. So Ram said, then what has to be done? He says, then in that case you have to collect your facts. You have to go deep into it, find out the truth, and according to the truth, people will continue to tell you that, well, this is the truth. I'm claiming this land is my own land, and somebody is only trying to grab it. So all these facts will differ. Therefore, you need to know the truth. That was first lesson he got on governance, sitting at the feet of Raja Janak. We people are grappling with these problems. Today, Till today, we have not been able to find a solution. All democracies in the world have their own faults, we have our own, and we will continue to be what we are. Today, something has improved in the meantime, but when we have people like Shailesh Gandhi, who, being an activist, went to occupy the post of the Information Commissioner, and he delivered the results. He showed to the people how it can be done. And we need to know that there are ways and ways of doing it. For example, once in the jungle, the animals elected a monkey as their leader instead of the lion. And the monkey was very sincere. So one goat came that its child had been taken away by the lion, and therefore he should get that child back. So he went near the cave where he was hiding that little kid. He went and he did not have the courage to go in because the lion was sitting there. So he kept jumping around on the trees, around the gufa and around that cave, but nothing would happen. Ultimately, that goat came again to him. So many days have passed, we have not been able to do anything. He says, but can you see what efforts I have been making? For all these days I have been jumping around the cave. I have made my efforts. Can't you appreciate my efforts? No. It comes to the crux of the matter. We don't need incapable people. We need capable people. People who are in a position to deliver the goods. And as and when people arrive on the scene, people who are capable, it happens. We need nothing more than this. Mr. Shailesh Gandhi's talk has given you so much that you hardly had any questions to ask in that. I would say that you have been able to fully understand the implication of what he had to tell you for this next 21. And therefore you need to press forth thereafter to be able to get your things, your demands given a hearing by the government.